I've got to tell you, when I looked at the ARK Space, there's some companies that are in there that are only tangentially involved with space. Like, for instance, John Deere is much more of a kind of a farm play. These are the stocks that are really in ground zero of what people are fleeing. But I do have to give her credit. She thinks long term. And so if you judge her short term, you're going to miss moves. But short term, this most recent creation is perceived to be unneeded. How about that? Unneeded.
I want to talk about space.
Welcome to the podcast. Like and subscribe.
And hit the bell.
Boom. Before we go on with space, the thing is, some people watching this might not know what space is and what they're doing. Can you give us a brief overview of what actually space is doing?
We are at the vanguard of a new industry, pioneering the next generation of reusable space vehicles. We aim to transform the current cost, safety, and environmental impact of space launch. In doing so, we are helping to create, for the first time, a basic space access infrastructure that will act as an enabler for scientists and entrepreneurs. It will provide the catalyst for a new age of space exploration, which promises enormous positive potential for life on Earth. Virgin Galactic is run by Richard Branson. Everybody knows him from Virgin Airlines, and this is his play into space exploration. They're looking to take people into space and make that as ubiquitous as traditional airlines. Virgin Galactic supersonic aircraft could travel from London to New York in 90 minutes. That's crazy. When I went to Europe, it was a 5-hour flight one way. It was an 8-hour flight back.
Right. We all know this is going to happen. Basically, does space, SPCE, Virgin Galactic, get us there, or do they get crushed?
This is obviously for billionaires, millionaires, or GameStop investors. But
who got in at $4?
Who got in at $4? But these are the people that are going to be paying these outrageous prices that will eventually help bring the costs down.
As we all know, all former SPACs have been hit hard, and I know space is definitely been also hit hard, but it's sort of hanging in there into its range, right?
I think all of this honestly came right after they announced that there's going to be an ARKX Space Fund, and then we had the correction that we had in February leading into March, and you can see it got down as low as $26. I was looking at it at 25, and I eventually got in here, rode it all the way up, and then it came back down. And around here, I was saying to myself, this is now a chance for me to buy it at the price that I originally wanted to buy it, and so I've been buying it in here.
It seems like it wants to stick around the $25 to $30 range.
$27 seems to be its like basic support, and when it did dip, it dropped low. It got eaten up right away.
What's the percentage of space in her fund?
Virgin Galactic is the 20th position, and it is a 2% weight. She has 367,000 shares worth of.
Well, just to give the opposite view, maybe the more bearish view on this, the fact that it's so low on Cathie Wood's radar at this point, that's 20th and not the top 5 or 6, you know?
I see what you're saying, but if you look at what is above it, NVIDIA Corporation, for example, is feeding GPUs to all of the companies. So it would make sense to me that company is going to be an outsized gain in this industry versus what Virgin Galactic would do. You got Lockheed Martin, you have Boeing, and you have NVIDIA, okay? You have Amazon, you have Google.
Yeah, first of all, this is a weird compilation.
It is weird because Netflix is in here. And actually, Kramer ripped into her about this. And
one look at the newly launched ARK Space Exploration ETF tells you everything you need to know about how managers can't resist creating new funds. So this fund has some quality companies that can pass as space plays. They've got Trimble, Kratos Defense, L3 Harris. Though something like L3 is mainly a high defense contractor. We have them on. You got Lockheed Martin and Boeing, which do have some space exposure, even if it's not their main business. The thing is, this fund also includes Amazon, Alphabet, and Netflix, along with some Chinese e-commerce plays like JD.com, Alibaba, Tencent. Deere's in there too. Yeah, Deere, the tractor company. It's ridiculous. Maybe I had an idea. Don't launch a space ETF if you have to pad it out with Netflix and Deere. You know what? I was surprised that GameStop isn't in it, because GameStop is synonymous with rocket ships over at Wall Street Bets. YOLO.
I did hear her say that Netflix, with space, Netflix benefits with more people watching, but that's a very loose interpretation of the goddamn, like it's supposed to be about space.
To me, that's a play very similar to buying Tencent. If they're partnering with Tesla, you understand, okay, what are people going to want to do once their hands are free and they're driving? They're going to need infotainment. There's a lot of people up in the air, captive audience. They basically look at it as like floating movie theaters. But I do also agree with some of what Kramer's saying. I think the stock market is so short-sighted. These companies in this space are trying to tackle missions 10, 20 years down the line that are incredibly hard. And while you're waiting, there's nothing to show you. But when it happens, it's amazing. When you see it, that's amazing. And even if you're not an investor, or even if you don't live in the United States, you go, that's pretty damn cool that people figured out how to do that. Virgin Galactic will have those moments, but they're a little further in the future. And so I want to have my money in and have everybody else throwing their money on top of mine.
The old guard is not ready to move to the next level like a pure play like Virgin Galactic is. So if I was Steven to bet, I would rather put my money in Virgin Galactic doing this and say, this is a flyer, $10,000. Here's my flyer. Let's see where this happens. And honestly, if it fails, you lose 10,000. That's true. But if it succeeds, what's the market cap of this company right now?
This is one of the larger market cap stocks that I do invest in. Valuation $7 billion.
If this is an actual company that gets you to, hold on, that gets you to space. This is $1 trillion company. If they win, $7 billion for a space company, that's laughable. Instagram was worth $19 billion when Facebook bought it, and now they're obviously hundreds of billions.
Right.
You know, I'm buying some tomorrow.
I would. Virgin Galactic Spaceship 3 is a stunning future of space travel. This week, the company unveiled VSS Imagine, the first member of Virgin Galactic's new Spaceship 3 class to join the fleet of its prospective commercial spacecraft. The design is based on Virgin Galactic's existing Spaceship 2, but sports a sleek, updated look. According to the company, Spaceship 3 will enable improved performance in terms of maintenance, access, and flight rate, which will lay the foundation for the design and manufacture future vehicles. They're trying to get it so these planes can land and take off again as quickly as a 747. That's one of the big barriers, that they have to charge so much money because the plane's out of commission once it lands, right? The world's first space hotel to open in 2027.
Well, that would be amazing if they make their deadline. I'm pretty sure they're going to miss it by a decade.
The Voyager station, which would accommodate 280 guests, aims to be the first commercial space hotel upon completion. It is a rotating space station.
It's a rotating death wheel.
It's a rotating space station with, I mean, look, they literally have a jettison pod in each room. Each hotel room has its own.
Oh, that's so cool.
Pod. It spins, and so there will be gravity. You will feel gravity from centrifugal force.
That's really dope, yeah.
We're trying to make the public realize this golden age of space travel is just around the corner. It's coming fast. The space program has piqued the interest of visionaries such as Richard Branson and Elon Musk. Virgin Galactic plans to launch ordinary space passages into space for $250,000 per person per trip. The team at Voyager Station has already assured the public that they plan to eventually make a stay at the hotel something similar to buying a cruise ticket. So the question is this a good buy? It is a market cap, $7.8 billion market cap. Do I feel this has a long way to run? Yes. Do I also feel like we've seen essentially the shelf? This $25 range here, $20 to $25 range, is the bottom. One other thing about the stock price that I'll say, because this is such a long play, and because when these things fail, they fail magically. When you see a rocket exploding, or when you see, I mean, it's hard to fault people for selling out, which means they're going to have failures and they're going to have setbacks. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to keep buying this thing on these dips. They're going to miss flights. They're going to have delays. All of this is just going to create some crazy opportunities, and you know that it's going to happen. It's not even like it's not like an Apple.
No, it's definitely going to happen.
And also, I don't see space as being anyone's major position. Like, space is no one's end phase. Space is like no one's Tesla.
It's one's 90% of their portfolio.
No, which means that all the big market corrections ups and downs, space just gets abused.
I wouldn't go all in. I would, over a span of 5 years, dollar cost average, because the upside is so big that even if you were buying it at 30 and 40 and 50 and 60 and 70 and 80 and 90 and 100, you're not, like, it's going to trillions. You know what I mean? Like,
right. If
you're
it hits,
thinking,
it's going to trillions.
You're thinking the wrong way if you think like you're playing this for like the year. That's what I mean. So it's like, I would just dollar cost average over a span of 5 years.
This is one where I would disagree with you. I would disagree, and I would say this is like buying Tesla, when they were whatever.
If you bought it in 2012, for the next 8 years, you would have basically hung flat.
Yes, you would have hung flat, but I don't think that this stock's going to do that. Basically, any good news from now on has to be something that they've never done before.
Yeah, but any bad news, like another rocket blows up and a guy dies, it's tanking.
But without knowing what those swings would be, that could happen when the stock's already at $80, and
totally,
back down to 40. So you're still priced out.
I get what you're saying. You're saying like $30, maybe 20, whatever. That's the bottom. We're at the bottom of the bottom. I get what you're saying, but I feel a company like this, one terrible piece of news can take that stock 30 to 10. It could. But once again, does it matter? That means it goes from 7 billion to like 2 billion, 2.5 billion.
Mhm.
The upside is still like 100x. So it's either $1 trillion actually, or it's zero. You don't make a semi-successful space company.
Exactly, because what does that mean?